More than a week after a body was found inside an impounded Tesla registered to the singer who goes by the stage name David, Los Angeles investigators identifying the remains as 15-year-old Celeste Rivas.
When the body of a missing teenager was found in singer David's car, the world reacted with shock. But if you've followed K-pop long enough, you know this story. You've just heard it told in another language. The system that makes stars is the same one that breaks them. This video isn't about gossip or speculation. It's about the pattern that connects stories from Seoul to Los Angeles. How fame, pressure, and silence can spiral into tragedy. This story goes beyond headlines. It's about people, power, and the truth behind the fame. Subscribe and stay with us here at K-pop All Day, where we dig deeper and uncover what others won't. Over the past few weeks, major outlets have reported on a heartbreaking story surrounding rising artist David and a teenager named Celeste Rivas Hernandez. According to those reports, Celeste had been missing for several weeks before police made a discovery that stunned fans around the world. Authorities are still investigating, and at this stage, only confirmed information from official statements should be shared. We will discuss more of the details later in the video. Rather than repeat every headline, I want to focus on what this moment says about fame, and why it feels hauntingly familiar to anyone who's watched the darker side of K-pop. Here's what's publicly known so far, as reported by news outlets. On April 5th, 2024, Celeste was reported missing. In mid-September, investigators located a vehicle registered to D4vd. Authorities later confirmed the identity of the person found inside was Celeste and announced that an investigation was underway. As of the latest update, no official cause of death has been released and no charges have been filed. It was confirmed, though, that she was not pregnant a year before and at the time of her death. She was only 14 years old and was found just a few days away from her 15th birthday. What strikes me most is the familiarity. In K-pop, we've seen artists collapse under the same cocktail of pressure: perfection, scrutiny, isolation. Their worlds looked different, but the machinery behind them was identical. Industries that turn teenagers into symbols and then leave them to survive the fallout alone. When tragedies happen, the statements come fast. We're heartbroken. Mental health matters. But the structures stay untouched. The cycle resets. And fans, left with grief and confusion, move on to the next debut, the next trend, the next feed refresh. Over the past several years, Riverside County deputies had visited Celeste Rivas Hernandez's home multiple times. Many of those visits were listed as follow-up calls rather than urgent emergencies. But in 2024, the number of calls tied to her residence noticeably increased. Fast forward to September 3rd, 2025. An officer cited a Tesla for violating the city's 72-hour parking rule. 2 days later, the car was towed to an impound lot in Hollywood where it sat unnoticed. Then, on September 8th, everything changed. Workers reported a foul odor coming from the vehicle. When officers opened the front trunk, they made a horrifying discovery: the decomposed body of Celeste Rivas Hernandez. She had reportedly weighed around 120 pounds, but by the time she was found, her remains weighed just 70 pounds due to decomposition. The Tesla was registered to singer David, and the vehicle had reportedly been parked and impounded for several weeks. David was said to be on tour when her body was discovered. The cause and manner of death have not yet been determined, and the investigation is still ongoing. Singer David has not been named a person of interest in the shocking case involving a 15-year-old girl found dismembered inside his car, but he's clearly not taking any chances. According to a report from LA Magazine on October 1st, the 20-year-old artist, real name David Anthony Burke, has hired one of Hollywood's top defense attorneys, Blair Burke, to represent him as the investigation continues. If that name sounds familiar, it's because Burke has defended some of the biggest celebrities in high-profile cases, including Harvey Weinstein, Johnny Depp, Ye, Britney Spears, and Lindsay Lohan. In other words, this isn't just any lawyer. This is the one you call when the stakes couldn't be higher. Adding to the mystery, David reportedly shares a tattoo identical to one found on Celeste's body. According to a TMZ report from September 17th, investigators noted that Celeste had the word "shh" tattooed on her right index finger, a detail that immediately stood out. Why? Because David, who's just 20 years old, is said to have the exact same tattoo in the exact same spot. The two had also appeared together on a... The David story reminds us that this isn't a Korean problem or a Western one. It's an industry pattern. Fast fame, minimal protection, and an internet that treats real lives like content. The real lesson here isn't about one artist or one case. It's about how easily our cultures, both East and West, forget that young people in fame aren't built for endless attention. They're built for connection, guidance, and time. Every time we lose someone in the spotlight, we promise to learn. But learning means slowing down the machine, not just mourning when it breaks. Maybe this time, we finally will.